Hi everybody, it's me again. I am here to finish this whole kitchen cleaning thing. So this will be part 2 of kitchen cleaning. All right. Now I finally got the dishes done, so let me show you around. All right, so here we go. Our task of dishes is done. So we got the stove to clean up. Oh, what a mess. I already took the knobs off the front and they're washed. They are sitting here. All right, excuse the needles. I am diabetic, if anybody hasn't figured that out, and I do use insulin. I took the racks off the top here, off the top of the stove. I took the racks off of here. All right, and I put them to soak. I don't always clean these, even though there are sometimes when I probably should, but I do that about every other kitchen cleaning. So about every couple of weeks or so, I will take them apart, and it's a gas stove, so you can take these off, and then you can take these out. See, and here's your igniter for the gas. So I try not to do that too much, just because I don't want to get stuff inside, because that's another cleaning job that I don't want to do. All right, so we've got the stove to clean, and you always clean from top to bottom. So we've got the splash guard, the stove, the sinks, and then the last but not least, we'll hit this floor. Pick a couple of things up before we do. And that should be it. I mean, it's a relatively small kitchen, so it's not a big deal, but because it is a small kitchen, it tends to get dirty fast, especially with this ancient history refrigerator. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but I don't know, for some of you, I don't know if anybody remembers these, but this refrigerator is from 1980 something. I know, because I was in high school then. The top handle here is missing off the freezer. So here's the top of where the handle would have went, which is right here. And then the bottom's missing here. It's one of those used ones. Alright, so I'm not sure how or where to put the camera to show you this method. I'm also doing, so let's see if I can maybe prop it up over here or something so that you guys can see what I'm up to. Let's just start with the stove first. How about that? Okay. So we have our stove. Sorry if I'm not very loud. My wife is sleeping, so I'm trying not to wake her up. Normally, what I will do, the last sink of water is my cleaning water. So I need to, all I do is dip the sponge in, suck in some water, and just slowly drip it over all the dried stuff. Okay. And then we'll start up here with the splash guard, and I'll get it as best I can. No guarantees on that. Because it is awfully hard to reach it back there. But it's there for a reason. Start from the back and come through to the front. You also want to make sure that your stove, your oven's not running, so you're not cooking while you're doing this. This is the exhaust. Underneath here is the exhaust where my fingers are for the stove. So it does get rather toasty if I have the oven running while I'm doing all of that. Okay, like to wash off my sponge every now and then in the sink. That keeps the food and debris down, and you know, when I go to wash the rest of the stove parts. And like I said, today it's like midnight, so I'm not really up to trying to do a complete and thorough cleaning, but I do want to get it cleaned up. Now it's been several, well, it's been almost a week since the last video I did. And I'm just now finishing the kitchen because life does tend to get in the way a little bit here and there. But as you can see, I'm trying to, and you can hear, I'm getting it squeaky clean. It's not like there's any grease left over, but just a whole lot of dried on debris and everything from the week's cooking. Now I'm cooking at home, so I'm a bit lazier than I would have been in the restaurant. So don't take this as a general restaurant practice that I do. But I'm also not I'm working on getting myself put back together and in shape again. It's just been a bit difficult. Especially with the medical stuff I've got going on. And I take care of the wife too, so. And that has its particular challenges because it does. And I'm not trying to mean that in a mean or negative or bad way. It's just challenging. You know, you see your wife in so much pain that she's crying. You've done everything you can to take care of it. She's still crying. You know. You're racking your brain trying to fix it. And there are days I wish I would have went to medical school, but that opportunity was not presented at that stage of the game. And as you can see, it's, you know, with just a little bit of soaking and prodding, all of that, what looks like a complete and total disaster is slowly coming apart and becoming a nice clean stove again. I don't know if you can hear that noise in the background, but that's our wash machine having a conniption fit back there. So we've got a front loading machine that was here with the house when we moved in. I wouldn't say. And I don't know how much you guys know about washing laundry machines, but there's a basket that rotates inside. That's how it washes your clothes. And if it gets off balance, it's going to make a lot of noise and shake the hell out of your machine. Sometimes you might have to use your nails. For some of you ladies, I know that's a fright. But if you don't have strong nails, then soak it off. I tend to have strong nails, so it doesn't bother them all that much for me to do all that. Don't forget, you gotta get your doors. Everywhere that food is run needs to be cleaned off. If it were a professional kitchen, you couldn't leave until it was done. So, we always planned accordingly in the restaurant for time to go home. You know, because you always had to restock and get things ready for the next shift, clean up your station, do all that good stuff before you were allowed to go home. So we always planned according to what we could. If there are days when we couldn't, we would have the guys the next shift come in, start cooking, and then we would do our cleaning prep, our cleaning and restocking and stuff while they handled the orders. So, there is always a way. This is just, I had to go to the doctor this week several times for pain, and they put steroids in my back and the whole 9 yards. I am attempting to get this done before the next round. Wonderma stuff, because I don't know what's coming next from the doctors. But as you can see, it's, what's left is staining and cooked in. And on a separate video, I will show you how we deal with that with the pink stuff. If you have, I wouldn't use a green scratchy, but a soft scratchy on your stove. You can probably get away with that without scratching the paint. I might have to soak that just a little longer, but see, I can just wipe off the tops of those. It'll be just fine. My wife's grandmother actually owns the house, and her carpenter is going to be here with some new doors that will hopefully cut down on all the dirt and dust and stuff that leaks in here, because we have trains that go back and forth behind the house. When I mean behind the house, they're literally right across the alley from us. They shake the house when they come through. And if they blow their horn and you're not expecting it, it'll be a righteous scream. I remember the first time they did that. Thought I was going to lose my Wookiee. Let me tell you. I hadn't been that close to a train since I was a kid. I was going to be an engineer. See, I can get my nail. My nails are fairly sturdy even though they're wet. I can get my nail in there and kind of help that along a little bit. Sometimes you might have to. If you do it with a butter knife, I guarantee you're going to scratch the paint. and then you're gonna have a mess. Because after that, this is like an enamel paint, like you would find on a enamel pot. So if you scratch this enamel on your stoves, it will start to come apart. Don't do it. And this is a fairly new stove, so the last thing I want to do is scratch the enamel. I would rather leave a stain than scratch the enamel. Okay, don't forget to get the front over here underneath your knobs and stuff. Food and debris do build up there. I know that I'm still working on this top. I know that it's supposed to come up, or should come up, but any seams or anything, try and get in and get the debris out, because all that will fester, turn into the wonderful diseases like salmonella and stuff like that. And you may not get it in your food right away, but you know, I hang my towels here that I use, and I don't want that stuff dripping all over my towels. Now wipe my hands and stuff with it. You know, you get the idea. And you know, for any of you guys out there who were kind enough to Amazon me a nice mic so that I can do this and you can hear me a lot better, I would appreciate it. Not begging, just you know, Christmas wish. How about that? Because I have my wife listen and do these before we send them. We post them so that she knows what I'm up to, and she tells me if she can hear me, if she can't hear me, things like that. And a lot of times she can't. So, all right. Handles all nice and clean. Stove's all nice and clean. Don't forget to open your door, oven door. And get that, and then underneath here. All right. See, nice clean stove, huh? Ready for use tomorrow for chili. Now, all I'm doing here in the background is washing up the grates for that cover the stove. Just kind of giving them the once over. Ooh, that's hot. Normally bother to dry much of anything when it comes to these, because they'll dry on their own anyway. So just put everything back. See, there you go. Doesn't look the same, does it? I'll let the knobs dry till morning. And then all we have to do is the floors, which I'm not sure if I'm going to do tonight or not. I might have to leave it because my back is really starting to bother me. So, all right, but that's the stove. And then I will see you guys here soon to finish up the floors, probably tomorrow. All right.
All right, I'm back. It is now daylight. So, as we continue, I have to thaw out. This is the proper way to thaw out any meat. in running water, because you have to keep the temperature below 40 degrees in order to stop the salmonella. And of course, I finished what little bit of dishes was here. So what we're going to do is sweep the floor. I don't know if you want to see me sweep the floor, but let me put you guys up here and then see. I had a whole display. Okay, sweeping the floor. I picked all of this stuff up because these three were sitting on the floor. So I picked those up. I'm going to put the trash can out so I can clear space. That's why I opened the back door, was so that I could have room to put things out. And of course, my cooking stool, because, you know, I can't stand up that as long as I would like to. Got to move all the stuff out of your way. Oh. And then start with the brooming. I have a Liebman broom and dustpan combo here. And then I think the dog is going to help me do spank the puppy with the broom. But either in or out. Pick it. You can go out. There you go. You just have to think about it. You too. That's my hair. Don't get dirty. Alright, gotta kick the dogs out too. They're gonna come back in after once I get the water ready for mopping. With the old wooden floors, it makes it a little more difficult to sweep up because of the slats. If you don't have if your floors haven't been done the way they're supposed to, it's going to be a pain in the butt because the slats, I have no subfloor, so all the slats move. Every time I walk on them. They weren't, the floor was put in, but it wasn't sanded level, no epoxy put on it, or nothing like that. You have to pick up all the debris as best you can. Sweep it all up. I told you to not to get dirty. Xena was an outside dog first, so she doesn't understand that she can't really lay in the dirt. Okay. Yes, I've gone in a complete and utter circle with this. Just trying to gather the pile up. So all of that was on the floor. Not too bad. Not too bad of a pile today. I'm trying to keep up with the kitchen a little better. You know, with what my body allows me to do anyway. Now, for those of you who have dogs and stuff like that, you get the fur bunnies on the brooms. Take the brooms outside onto the sidewalk and sweep them, and that'll take care of that. You guys are going to have to figure out what you're going to do. Running in and out is not going to cut it. Come on. Get it in here. Get your eagle in here. I gotta do the floor. I'm gonna track dirt everywhere if I don't. Alright. So the wind is kicking up right now outside, so I'm gonna close the door. Also gonna turn this off a little bit for a little while. Oh, that hurt. A lot. And then we're going to do the floors. Okay. We're going to do the floors. And I'm hopefully going to set this up where you can see it. When I do the floors, I generally tend to soak my floors. Take your bucket of hot soapy water, mop water, put it outside your kitchen door, because you're going to head that direction anyway. Okay? I have a little tiny, like, excuse me. I had bean salad last night. I have one of these little tiny mops that you can wash the heads and stuff up with. So, drag it out, make sure it's all nice and drippy wet. Start mopping your floors. The reason I do the drippy wet is because if you have a relatively dry mop, and unless you're just like in this blazing hurry, you're not going to get your dirt up. Your dirt and your debris and all that stuff that gets in there. Then you start from the farthest corner when you mop of the kitchen and mop your way to your bucket. Now I'm mopping with how the slats are laid down so I can get in between, since there's some separation in the wood. I want to try and get us in between a little bit and get all that out. And you can go quite the ways if your mop is still wet. At this stage of the game, don't worry about walking on the floor, because you're going to do a second mop. You basically mop your kitchen twice. So, sorry I don't have a GoPro to show you the in detail stuff. And just are not in that position to get one yet. Okay, now that you've done all that, what you want to do is take your mop, thoroughly wash it out, and then you want to thoroughly wring it out. Alright, and once again you start, see it's already dry. You start at the furthest place, which would be out here, and just pick up the extra. By then it should have soaked up a lot of the dirt, anything that, if you have kids and dogs and stuff like that, they track in. Food that might have been spilled that, you know, you wiped it up but didn't quite get it all. Stuff like that. See? And then you go over and you pick up all of the extra water that was on the floor, the soap, the dirt. As you can tell, these poor old floors have not only taken a beating, but they weren't properly sealed. So it makes life a little bit, it makes it a little bit of makes a bit of a difference that way. Okay. Now this time, as you're mopping, don't go back over your floor. Don't walk back over your floor, because you'll track all kinds of footprints all over it and make it look like you did a bad job. So, see? And there you go. Kitchen's all cleaned. All we have to do now is put the silver, or put the dishes away, and we're pretty much golden. All right. That ends part 2 of kitchen cleaning with Wookiees. We'll see you on the next one. It's going to dry all nice and wonderful.